Dan, this is your latest Manchester United transfer news, and we're live this Friday morning, and we will be talking about Ligt and the latest transfer news with him, which I think a lot of people will not be surprised about, but I think a lot of United fans will be disappointed about, because there's been so many people lying about his future over the last couple of weeks, as we've discussed, all these little pretends in the nose that he's doing a medical and this, that and the other. Manchester United Ligt transfer dream appears to be over. This is reflected in news stories overnight, yesterday, and now it's also being reflected in relation to comments coming out from people close to him. And more importantly, in some ways, the transfer odds are very interesting as well. But what I want to say first of all is, don't take this as a negative. For anybody who watched Ligt last night, Manchester United were 100% totally correct to try and do this deal. And there's still a glimmer of hope that maybe it could be done. It's not looking likely. I think even 2-3 days ago, it looked like we had a chance. It's not looking very good now. But we were right to go for it. And what I want to say is, look, I'm not going to be one of those United fans who starts going dramatically, oh, we're terrible, we're crap, this, that and the other. Because you shouldn't be saying that. When we know we're crap anyway. We're in a very bad situation, and going for top players in the world transfers doesn't change that. It puts you in a different world, in a different perspective. I mean, like Jesse Lingard for 20 minutes yesterday, I was like, bloody hell, why has he not done that for England for over a year? Like, how can he do that for England and not do it for United, the club that he loves? So I'm not forgetting what happened last season, and nobody should. But with Ligt, what did he do? Make a big mistake against Rashford last night. Now, we know with our United players, they make a big mistake like that, they've got to make another mistake and their heads drop. What did Ligt do? 19-year-old Ligt makes a big mistake in front of the whole world when he knows the world's watching him. What does he do? Goes up the other end, powers a header in to equalise, and then puts in a flawless performance. Absolutely superb. That's what United need. Leaders, people with strong mentalities that when they make mistakes, it doesn't bother them and they go out more determined than ever. What a signing he would be for Manchester United. We are totally and utterly correct to try and do that deal. I don't buy into the fact that we've wasted time. All we ever had with Ligt was this: we're crap, but we'll pay you more money than anybody else. That's all we were ever doing. You know, if we were Barcelona, we'd be saying, how can he just be a mercenary and go and pick Manchester United? Come to us. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world. We can give you Champions League football. We've got brilliant players. Why would you go to Manchester United just for money? It's right what somebody said about it. It's basically like going to the Chinese, and that Chinese league, and that appears to be what is happening here. The latest with Ligt is that it's PSG, it's Barcelona, or it's maybe Liverpool. That is where he's going to go. United are out the equation because United cannot give him Champions League football. The bookies reflect this as well. United have been pretty much evens with Ligt, and now we're out to 4-1. 4-1 with a lot of the bookies. That's a massive drop-off. Now, hopefully, they're just falling for the story that might not be true, that we're out of the running. But I tell you what, we've been very, very close with Barcelona all along. Frankie de Jong has said, oh, look, I want him to come to Barcelona. I've told him to speak about it seriously and to speak with his family and friends about it, because it's a big decision for him. I wouldn't even say it's sad, because we've got some really positive stuff to talk about. He would have been a great signing for United. He's exactly what United needed: a leader, somebody who's good on the ball to sort out that. You know, the whole team just makes me sick. That's where I feel frustrated. I still haven't forgotten about last season, and I'm still very angry with the set of players that we've got and where we are as a football club. And what resonates with me is, we're out of the equation because we're not in the Champions League, and we should have been bloody in the Champions League. Everybody is to blame for that. Solskjaer, the board, the players. We shouldn't have messed up that Champions League run. We were there. We'd put the hard work in for 3 months. We'd done brilliantly well, and then we down tools for the last 2 months of the season. We should have been in the Champions League, and if we'd been in the Champions League with the money we can offer, we might have got Ligt. We might have got him. G Max says, I felt hollow in the stomach for Jordan Pickford last night. Shades of similar bloopers by Urs flash by. I hope that Ollie gets 4 to 5 key players or strong to take control over the locker room and lead, says G Mac. And that's exactly why we should have gone for Ligt. And that's exactly why we were right to be in the race for Ligt. And I think what's happened now with Ligt, if any of you's old enough, can you remember when Eden Hazard joined Chelsea? He basically, I mean, this was pretty much before the days of Twitter and social media. He basically did it like a big reveal. I'm going to go somewhere. We were in the running, Man City were in the running, and Chelsea were in the running, and ended up going to Chelsea. And all United fans were like, I don't think we've got a chance, but let's hope. And then he went to Chelsea. And I think that's where we are with Ligt now. we've got a chance. It's a very slim chance. Everything is now suggesting he's not going to come. The thing with the De Ligt thing is the closer it gets to his decision, the further we get away from it. And I think 2 weeks ago, when he was 2 weeks away, keep United in the mix. And what it looks to me like is Mino Raiola has kept us in there to keep United are willing to pay this. No, you're not going to United, don't worry. United are willing to play this, everybody. Oh, he's really thinking about it. Yeah, he is. I know, Europa League and crap, but he's thinking about it because they're willing to offer this. We're not going there, don't worry. And then Barcelona and everyone else come in and go, all right, yeah, So I think that's what's going to happen. And you know what? So before we move on from De Ligt as well, let me just say this. I respect the kid. I said this 2 weeks ago. If he goes to Barcelona or PSG or Liverpool or wherever, and not us, I actually respect him even more, because if he does come to us, he's coming for money. He is. That's what he's coming for. So if he chooses not to come to us, because we will offer the best financial package, definitely. We will do. And if he chooses not to take that, then I respect the kid even more. I think he's a fantastic player, and I would have loved him at Manchester United. And I still hope that we do get him, but it's not looking very likely now. And this is a lesson to everybody as well, because even if he still does come to us, which I don't think he will, all these plonkers on social media saying, oh, my source this, my source that. What a load of crap. You've really bloody wound a lot of United fans up with that. But, people need to learn from it, don't they? The second thing I want to say, though, because I want to spin this into a positive. United cannot not get De Ligt and then go, oh, let's stick with Jones and Smalling. We have to go for somebody else, and we will do. We will do. I mean, there's a story this morning that Manchester United, from Manchester United sources, so take it with a pinch of salt. United are expecting 2 major signings in before the end of July, and up to 4 coming in before August. Ooh, up to 4. Oh my life, I nearly fell off my chair. We might sign 4 players. Up to 4? What, like we could get 3 or 4? Oh my God. Wow, 3 or 4, up to 4. Wow, mate, amazing, mate. We need to sign 5 or 6 as a minimum. I mean, that's 5 or 6 is fine, but up to 4, it ain't enough. Have you looked at that squad? It's shit. Like, it needs to be better than that. So we will spend money. Of course, the worry is who are the major signings going to be. De Ligt looks like he's gone. We won't swap Lukaku for Icardi. So are the major signings going to be Gareth Bale by any chance? Because if it is, I'm very, very disengaged. I'm like, what? People close to him are saying things to sell stories. Maybe we still have a chance in signing him. Only De Ligt knows where he wants to go. Carlos Sota. Look, you should definitely hold a torch out that we could get De Ligt. But it's, the bookies very rarely get it wrong. It isn't looking good for United to get him, but I never felt it was. And we must move on. I mean, one player that let's just move it a little bit towards Jadon Sancho for a minute, because I don't think we're getting Jadon Sancho anyway, but I think, 2 months ago, I know for a fact we were trying to get Jadon Sancho, and Jadon Sancho was open to the move. Again, it's because we didn't get Champions League, and many of you lot said this after the Cardiff game, and after the Huddersfield game, and after the Everton game. Will it impact us not being in the Champions League? And Ollie said, well, you'd be surprised at the quality players that want to come to here. But it's not all the quality players, is it? It's clearly a very, very, very big gap for people like De Ligt and Jadon Sancho to jump. They don't want to play in the Emmerdale Cup. So it is a factor. And United can pretend it's not, but it is. If we had Champions League football, I think we'd have a better chance of getting De Ligt. If we had Champions League football, I think we'd have we probably would have got Sancho. I don't think we can get him now, because he's like, well, why would I go and play in that? I don't need to do that. I can stay at Dortmund for another year. So, whose fault is it we're not in the Champions League? Those lazy bottlers who are now just swanning around on international duty like last season never happened, while we pay the price of not being able to bring in top quality players. I mean, you can see Jadon Sancho last night. Only played for an hour. What he is the perfect solution to our right-sided attacking issue. And we should be knocking on the door of Dortmund and saying, there's £90 million, cash. I'm going to give you a weekend to think about it. And let them think about it. Because he is the solution to the problem. He is. And there's this theory that United, and I read this morning, that Solskjaer resigns the fact that he can't get Jadon Sancho and Declan Rice. You can get them, Ollie. You can get them. It just depends who's negotiating for you, because you can get them. There is everybody's got a price. You can get them, and we should be doing everything we can to get Jadon Sancho, because he is exactly what Manchester United need on that right hand side. But again, that failure to get in the Champions. I mean, bloody Chelsea are in the Champions League. How the hell did they get into the Champions League? They're going to lose the manager. They've lost Eden Hazard. They've got a transfer ban, and they're in the Champions League. It's like they're a waste of time being in the Champions League. And where are we? Back in the Emmerdale Cup with money to burn on a rebuild. All we needed was just to get over the line and get the Champions League, and then we would have been able to get these players in, but we're not going to get them because of that. And it is a little bit frustrating, but it's not over. The transfer window should not implode. People should not get frustrated. You wait until August the 8th. Well, that's what I do. I will judge this transfer window then. And I know that Manchester United may miss out on De Ligt, probably will miss out on Sancho, but there are players there that I think we are going to sign that other teams would love to get. Bruno Fernandes, I've been saying it for a long time. Where the in the knows are about this, they'll probably start coming out now. Oh, it's definitely going to happen on Monday. You've been saying sod all about it for 2 months. I've been talking about it on this channel for 3 months. Bruno Fernandes is 100% one of Manchester United's top 3 priority signings this summer. De Ligt wasn't one. 2 months ago, De Ligt was not a priority signing. He's come into the equation because Mino Raiola's done what he did with Lukaku. Everyone thought he was going to Barcelona, De Ligt. Like everyone thought Lukaku was going to Chelsea. And then Mino Raiola goes, oh, maybe not. So De Ligt was not a priority signing for United. He just became a possibility. Bruno Fernandes is a priority signing for United, and if we get that over the line, that is a number 1 priority signing for United done. And the reason I keep saying priority is because it's very important. Mourinho let it slip. Van Gaal let it slip. Yeah, they got good players bought for them, but they weren't the first or second choice sometimes. Bruno Fernandes is United's first choice in the midfield, and I think they're going to get him, which would be absolutely fantastic. Ziyech could be a good signing as well. There are players out there. It's not over. It's disappointing if you don't get De Ligt and Sancho's, but it's not over. There's plenty of good players. I mean, that Steven Bergwijn yesterday for Holland looks absolutely fantastic. Why are we not trying to do that deal? His agent's talking about him going to Italy. He would massively improve at Manchester United. His work ethic is superb. His aggression is superb, and he's very, very skillful and fast. He would be infinitely better than everything we've got at United at the moment. He would be very, very, very good. Very, very good for Manchester United. James Maddison surely says Mason Sass. The latest with James Maddison is that he's going to stay at Leicester for another year, which again, I expected the United to Maddison story to come out. We did the video the other night, but to be honest with you, I've always thought with James Maddison, he's only been at Leicester for 1 year. I don't think he's going to leave Leicester yet. Leicester don't need to sell. They've got a new manager. He's doing really well. 2 years in the Premier League before you make your move is probably a good idea. So it's not looking likely for James Maddison at the moment. But, who are United going to sign? You know what? I must just say, just in relation to the game last night, John Stones was trash, Kyle Walker was trash, and Jordan Pickford's a dodgy goalkeeper. But Harry Maguire had a very good game. If you give him De Ligt 8 out of 10, well, that's because he scored a goal and played very, very well after his mistake. But Harry Maguire made no mistakes and won a lot of headers in both halves, in both penalty boxes. And considering he was up against people like Van Dijk and De Ligt, who are excellent in the air, I thought Harry Maguire had a very, very good game. And I think people need to wake up to Harry Maguire and say, look, give him his dues, because whenever he does it, whenever he plays for Leicester or England, people want to go, oh, he's not quite good enough. But whenever he comes up against good opposition, he still plays really, really well as well. He's not De Ligt, he's not Koulibaly, but he's not far off. And I think that is, and also what he is he's a bit of a leader as well. He's got that strong mentality. I would be looking at him. If we can't get De Ligt and we can't get Koulibaly, I think you've got to be looking at Harry Maguire. That's my personal feeling. Ben Brown says, Mark, I love the content. Proper banter and good lad from Liverpool fan. Hope United get relegated next season, says Ben Brown. Well, if you get bloody De Ligt next year, we're screwed. Everybody is screwed. Zohan Vemu, Mark, should we wait a year for Sancho and manage with the players we have on the right wing, or go all out for another player and forget Sancho? I think you've got to forget Sancho, because I think if he has another year like he did in Dortmund, Real Madrid will just sign him. This summer Real Madrid are all about Hazard. Next year they'll be about Sancho, because it's only because they've got other priorities at the moment. Please do smash a like on the video if you're enjoying the content, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We are going to be back live again at 8 o'clock tonight, of course, and if anything happens in the day, we'll go live. I don't think anything will happen today. It's everybody United are looking at appears to be on international duty, and they're all going to be doing international stuff because Portuguese players have got an important final on Sunday, Dutch players are resting and they've got an important final on Sunday, England players, well, wasters, but there we go. I'd look at Harry Maguire. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm just going to say this right now. Don't sleep on the Koulibaly deal. I still don't think... Alright, the Koulibaly deal is probably not likely, but if you look at my hotometer, which I haven't got to put up, I still have Koulibaly in the top 7, because middle of May, my theory was that United were always after Koulibaly because I know Mourinho wanted to sign him, and I think United just kept that deal ticking along. And that was my theory. I didn't have any people telling me that. But then in mid-May, you remember when it blew up about Koulibaly, United seriously want Koulibaly. I spoke to a couple of people who follow me on Twitter who were leaking that story, and they said, very, very good source, United are in for Koulibaly. So United want Koulibaly, definitely. And it's all about whether Inter Milan will sell. So they're probably not going to sell, but things like that can change very quickly with money. So, if the Ligt deal's dead, and it looks like it is, then Koulibaly's still a possibility. And if not, you go and get Harry Maguire. Squad is horrid. Rumoured signings won't fix us, says Metal Music Reviews, MMR. Look, you know what? I think the transfer window does very funny things to people. Of course it does. But what you shouldn't do, and I'll try and remind people throughout the summer, is don't let the excitement of the transfer window, the roller coaster of the transfer window, take your mindset away from who we are. We're Manchester United, and we won't give up. But we're Manchester United, the 6th best club in England, in the Emmerdale Cup, with a terrible squad of players who've let this club down year after year, who aren't good enough and cannot be trusted. And we cannot replace a whole squad of players like that in one transfer window. So eyes wide open to what's about to happen next season. But we do need to buy well, and we do need to buy the right sort of player. But yeah, let's not rewrite history with the transfer window. It's very easy to fall into the trap of the transfer. Imagine if we had signed Ligt. Everyone would go, oh, we're sorted. But he's one player. He's one centre-back. You've still got a whole squad of players with the same issues. And as I said, I thought Rashford played quite well yesterday. I thought Lingard had 20 minutes where he looked fantastic. And I thought, you're Manchester lads from the youth setup, and we've not seen anything like that from you for 4 months. Why is that? And apparently we've got the right manager, so you can't blame him. And apparently we've got the right coaching staff, so you can't blame that. Why are you not doing that? And the bottom line is, with every United player at the moment, is they can't be trusted. I was speaking to Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV a few days ago, and he was saying, United and Arsenal are in the same boat. And I said, well, it's hard to me. I don't watch Arsenal week in, week out, but I do watch United. And I said, Robbie, the problem I've got with this United side is they could well start the season really well and win 18 games in a row. And we could be top of the league come, November time. But I still would be saying, I don't trust this team. And everyone would be going, oh, you're an idiot. We've won 18 games. We're top of the league. And I would go, no, because this team can win every game for 3 months. And then it can down tools for 3 months. I don't trust this set of players. And they're going to have to work really hard. So even if we win every game for 3 months next season, I will still be thinking it's going to drop off. Because they've proven that. They can be brilliant. And then they drop off. And they're awful. So it's hard to trust this set of players at the moment, and it's a hard job for Ollie. Welcome to Neo United 7, newest member of the United Stand Members Club, and please can I have a shout out, says Pranesh Carrier. Yes, you can. There is your shout out. The problem is that we still have a chance that United will line up unchanged from the players of last season, says Keegan Mossick. I think there's no chance of that. There is no way Manchester United fans will stand for the Glazers not spending a lot of money this summer. They won't. They won't. And I say they because I'm a fan and you're a fan, but they won't. We are the collective they. They won't stand for that. It's not acceptable. We are miles away from Liverpool and Manchester City, and the only way to solve that is to try and remove some of the deadwood and bring in some proper talent, and they've got to do that. And which goes back to the start. I wouldn't get frustrated if Ligt doesn't sign for Manchester United, because it's the right signing that United are trying to do. It's just a bit far-fetched for us to actually do it at this point, because we can't offer anything other than money. But you can't be sad. Well, you can be sad, but you can't be angry if we don't sign him, because we've got nothing to offer other than money. So it's, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. But it's what they do from that setback. It's what they go and get. You know, if you can't get De Ligt, but then you go and sign Manolas, I think that's a massive drop off. If you can't get De Ligt, but you sign Maguire or Koulibaly, I think, well, you know, it's not De Ligt, but it's still a very, very good signing. And as I say, if you get Bruno Fernandes over the line, brilliant signing. There's no guarantee he's going to be a successful signing, but it's the right sort of signing. You've got to applaud it. Metal Music Reviews says, I do give Ollie 2 to 3 windows before judgment should be made. In my opinion, Ollie is trying too hard to emulate Sir Alex Ferguson. I think the Premier League has moved past that level. I think that's a very good point, you know. If Ollie is trying to emulate or replicate what Sir Alex Ferguson was, it's stupid because football's changed. You're right. Sir Alex Ferguson was a brilliant manager a decade ago, even 6 years ago when he won the title. Would he still be relevant in the modern game? He'd have to have adapted. And we don't know how he would have adapted. So Ollie can only be trying to replicate what Sir Alex was doing 10, 20, 6 years ago. So what Sir Alex Ferguson would be in the modern game, Ollie can't replicate because nobody knows what he would have evolved into. You've got to be looking at the modern game. Something that worked 6 years ago isn't going to work now. So even the management style probably won't work now because Sir Alex Ferguson was somebody who was kicking boots at people and shouting at them. And does that work with everybody now? It doesn't. That's why Mourinho's become redundant. So, yeah, welcome Metal Music Reviews, his latest member of the club. And thanks for that. 4-4-2 can still work, says Big Hand 69. I don't think it works. I don't think it can. I think it's outdated because basically a 4-4-2 to work, you've got to have one of your strikers basically dropping into the midfield, and then it's not a 4-4-2 anyway, is it? It becomes a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 or whatever. A recap then. So for people who are joining a little bit late, please do smash a like because I'm going to give you the recap now. The recap is that Manchester United have drifted from 2-1 out to 4-1 to be signing De Ligt. Manchester United apparently out the running according to the latest reports because we cannot offer, and Champions League football is what he wants. United can't offer that. United have offered the best financial package, but that's not the most important thing to De Ligt. He wants Champions League football. United out the running. It's now Barcelona, PSG and maybe Liverpool in the race according to reports. As I said, disappointing, but not surprising that we can't sign him. So we move on and hopefully we get better targets. Jadon Sancho is a player that I think we should have got. And again, because we haven't got the Champions League, I don't think he's going to come, but we should be moving heaven and earth to try and do that deal because he's absolutely perfect for what we needed on the right side of our attack. Absolutely perfect. Bruno Fernandes still looking like it's very much on for United. That would be a positive move. A positive move would be, if we don't get De Ligt, would be to go and get Koulibaly or Harry Maguire. I think it's got to be one of those two now. Let's turn it into a positive. Let's get a good centre-back into the football club and try and rebuild. That's what we're trying to do. James Maddison looks like he's going to be staying at Leicester for another year, so that's off the cards. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has apparently said he doesn't expect to bring in anyone like Declan Rice or Jadon Sancho this summer. It's a step too far. So that's where we are with it at the moment. Also, Manchester United apparently expect to bring in two major signings before July the 1st and up to 4 by August the 8th. I mean, up to 4, it's got to be 4 at least. Up to 4 is not a statement I like. It's got to be 4 at least, preferably 5. Because 4 signings, we need a centre-back, 2 midfielders, a right winger. That's 4. A right-back, 5. You know, if a right-back's one of the 4, we're screwed because that's centre-back, right-back, 1 midfielder, right winger. We need, or even worse, it's right-back, centre-back, 2 midfielders, no right winger. It's got to be 5. Right back, centre back, 2 midfielders, right winger. That's the ideal summer. 5. Let's see what happens. Jin Amara Singh says, if we can't sign De Ligt, Koulibaly, Diaz or Maguire, we should look at Leipzig's 20-year-old centre-back, Ibrahima Kanante, tall, strong and a hungry player. Well, Ruben Diaz is another prime example as well, definitely. Okay, please do smash a like on the video, everyone. It'd be nice to hit 1,000 likes before we finish. A fast-paced show, a live transfer show. Normally it's at 7 a.m. every Monday to Friday, but today I wanted to do it live a little bit later, so we've done it a couple of hours later. So I hope you've enjoyed Transfer Daily News Live, which is great. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner, click subscribe and make sure you ring your bell. That means that when you subscribe, there's a little bell next to it. Click that and then you'll get a notification every time we go live, or I think if you click it on a desktop, you can tick to get all notifications. Thanks everyone for watching. We've done the recap, Greek Freak 69. I'm back at 8 o'clock tonight. A bit of exciting news for you if you are UK based around London. We're playing a match tomorrow, United Stand FC. We'll be giving the details of the kickoff and where it's going to be. So if you want to come out and support the United Stand, see some of the lads, you're more than welcome. We'll be giving those details out at 8 o'clock tonight. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you at 8 o'clock unless something happens during the day, and I'll go live again. I will be playing a bit of FIFA this afternoon on That's Football as well. So if you want to click That's Football, search it and subscribe, get your notifications on for that as well. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.